Is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Special Counsel Hur, for being here today. I know it's been hours and hours, and I really appreciate you staying to the bitter end here. And I think it speaks to the possibility and promise afforded by this nation that you, as a child of immigrants, sit here as special counsel, and I, as a child of an immigrant, sit here as a member of Congress. There is a lot that's been said today, and part of the challenge that I have is trying to translate this for my constituents back home. And so I want to start with sort of the top line. So you were tasked with identifying whether criminal conduct occurred regarding classified documents. And after over a year of investigation, including 150 witness interviews and over 7 million documents reviewed, you wrote in the first sentences of the executive summary, quote, "We conclude that no criminal charges are warranted in this matter. We would reach the same conclusion even if Department of Justice policy did not foreclose criminal charges against a sitting president." Were those your words?
Yes.
Thank you. So let's get into it. Mr. Hur, at any time did DOJ leadership or the Attorney General attempt to influence the outcome of your investigation?
No.
Do you believe it's important that the special counsel investigations or any DOJ investigation be impartial and free of influence from political actors?
Yes.
Do you believe you were independent and thorough in your report?
Yes.
Do you think it's true that you received no pressure from Attorney General Garland in this matter?
That's correct.
Is it true that you had all of the resources that you needed enabled for you to conduct your interviews, to conduct your investigation, and to complete your report?
Yes.
Is it true that you recommended that the Attorney General decline to charge President Biden?
I submitted a report to the Attorney General explaining my decision that criminal charges were not warranted in this matter.
Right, so you said on page 1 of the report, quote, "We conclude that the evidence does not establish Mr. Biden's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt." Is it true that your report ultimately concluded that the evidence did not support a finding beyond a reasonable doubt that President Biden willfully retained classified materials?
Yes.
Is it true that President Biden cooperated with your investigation?
Yes.
Is it true that President Biden sat for an interview with you the day after the October 7th attacks in Israel in the midst of an international crisis?
He sat for interviews over 2 days, October 8th and October 9th.
Thank you. Is it true that that President Biden allowed the FBI to conduct thorough searches of his home and his beach house?
Yes.
Is it true that your report found multiple possible innocent explanations as to why the classified documents ended up where they did?
As part of our analysis, we walked through a number of different explanations that defense counsel could present at trial if this case were charged.
And as you said on page 6 of your report, quote, "In addition to this shortage of evidence, there are other innocent explanations for the documents that we cannot refute." Your report reads—
I see that language, yes.
Thank you. Your report reads, "With one exception, there is no record of the Department of Justice prosecuting a former president or vice president for mishandling classified documents from his own administration. The exception is former President Trump." Am I reading that correctly?
Yes.
Is it true, or is it correct that your report recommends no charges and that that would be the case even if he were not a sitting president?
Correct.
So what we've had today is hour after hour after hour of trying to distract us from the clear statements that come through this report. And you yourself have said multiple times today, there was no attempt to obstruct justice by the President, by the Department of Justice, by the Attorney General, that you had all the resources that you needed to conduct a fair and thorough investigation and report, and that what you concluded was, in fact, the evidence was not sufficient to bring charges against the President for mishandling documents. I thank you for being here today. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized.